And let's tell you the verdict of our SMS poll. 3 Idiots Success. Is the film an accurate depiction of Indian higher education? What are you telling us there? 73% are saying yes. In fact, the rest are saying no. Big majority there still saying yes, this is an accurate depiction. But Mahesh, Manjrekar, I want you to pick up from the point that Parshuram Narayan was talking about, which is that, you know, it's one thing to want reform in the education system. It's another thing to create a situation where standards are lowered, where you simply send the message, don't study because studying is a waste of time. Don't respect your teachers because they're all awful. Don't even think about going to higher education because you just have to do rote learning and marks are meaningless and the rat race is meaningless. Aren't you just tapping into a mood where you're encouraging people to think, forget it, we don't need to study?
The point is nobody has seen my film. The point is, when Parshuram spoke, he has not seen my film. My film is not against education. It is against the system. We are still caught in the 50s and 60s. Do you think education is knowing when Muhammad Ghazni came to India, or knowing what are the crops in the Tropic of Cancer, or what is the rainfall in the tundra regions? Is this education? I am telling you, the system is too outdated. It's too old. We are putting a lot of pressure on children. Mr. Parshuram, I just want to tell him something. I was not deprived. Definitely not. But when I see students today under so much of pressure, I feel we need to change the system a little. Education is a must. After you see the film, you realize it is not a film which is against education, which is not a film which abuses teachers. It is not a film which abuses teaching. It just makes a very strong comment against the system which refuses to change, which refuses to make education a little more enjoyable, a little more easier.
But Narayan, respond to that. I mean, but on a larger point, on a larger point, don't you think?
I think if you see the film, you'll appreciate it.
But on a larger point, Narayan, don't you think that in fact, there is something to be said for changing our education system, which is driving many to suicide?
Definitely. Definitely. I mean, I think the kind of innovation that we are referring to in education is always being done. What we consider tradition today was actually innovation yesterday. And what we are talking about, what Amir Khan and Rajkumar Hirani show in 3 Idiots, what they claim to be innovation, if it becomes a tradition tomorrow, then it is probably valid. But, for example, you know, Amar Chitragatha was an innovation yesterday, and we in Curry Tales were inspired by by that innovation, which is tradition today. So, you know, let us not just discard it. And I have nothing against Mr. Mahesh Manjrekar's film. Obviously, we have not even seen it. My comment was actually based on, I'm sorry if I came across a little angered. It is just that when somebody abuses my teachers, I do not know, maybe it's the kind of upbringing I have had, I get a little upset. Is there anything wrong in that?
No, but Mr. Parshuram.
Go ahead.
Mr. Parshuram,
yeah.
Are you there? But Mr. Parshuram, I have not abused the teachers at all. In fact, if you see the film, it is a very positive film about teachers, about learning. It is what happens is in India, we confuse education with degrees and diplomas. That is what is wrong. You know, what is education? The whole film is about that. And when you see the film,
you know, I'm a big fan of your film Shivaji Raje Bhosle Bolta. It's a fantastic film.
But
I'm not commenting on the film at all.
I think you see the film.
But Narayan, don't you think at the same time? But don't you think, Narayan, at the same time that there's nothing wrong with degrees? Why should we scorn degrees?
No, I'm not scorning degrees.
Yeah, so long as you don't say that education is only in degrees. Education does not happen only in degrees. Yeah.
Okay.
Nobody said education is only in degrees. And the other little point I want to make. Yeah, sorry.
Go ahead, Narayan.
Yeah, what happens is, see the pressures the parents put on the children. See what happens is tomorrow, if Sachin Tendulkar's father was someone who wanted him to go to college and do a degree, Sachin Tendulkar would have not been where he is today. See, does it mean he is lesser learned?
Sure.
Or was Lata Mangeshkar lesser learned? So it is not that.
But
I'm trying to find
but Sachin Tendulkar's father.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Sachin Tendulkar's father and Master Achrekar did encourage sadhana. There was reverence to the education that Sachin Tendulkar got.
Exactly.
I'm not talking about the degree. I'm talking about discarding tradition.
You're talking about a state of mind.
Exactly, Mr. Parshuram,
you're talking about a state of mind.
That is what my film shows.
I'm talking about education in general.
That is what my film is.
Yeah.
Exactly, that is what my film is.
Okay, let me get in Shashank Veera.
I think. Yeah. Sure.
When you see the film, you'll
I would
realize
love to
that
see
is what
the
I'm trying to say.
Okay, let me
I'm
get
sure
in
the whole of
Shashank
India
Veera
would
here.
benefit from
Shashank,
what
I
you're
think
saying.
what Mahesh Manjrekar and Narayan are disagreeing on is that Mahesh Manjrekar is saying we need to change the education system, but Narayan is saying we need to do it from a positive mindset. We can't do it of, slash and burn and destroy. We need to engage with the system and have an attitude of reverence.
That's not my film. That is not my film.
Well, there's a lot to actually...
My film says to find out...
There's a lot in the education system which is good. And I think we need to hold that as well. But let's look at the reality of the situation. Why do people go into higher education? I'm not talking about the wider body of education and life learning and all that kind of thing, but just higher education, colleges, universities. Some people go for the learning. Some people go for the rubber stamp. Some people go for a network, building a peer group, finding friends. Some people go because their parents want them to go. Now, which system delivers to whom? You've got a syllabus, you've got a curriculum which delivers to the people who want to learn. You've got the pedigree of the IITs that delivers to the people who want a rubber stamp.
Mm-hmm.
You've got some pressure from the parents which delivers, oh, my son is an engineer, oh, my daughter is a doctor. So you've got to look at a system which is delivering different things to different people. Now, when we talk about reverence of education and reverence of learning, I would say not really education, that reverence is something which is within each person, and only a small fraction of those people actually are in higher institutes of learning. Everyone who's in an institute of higher learning is not there because they want the learning.
Right.
And I think until we recognize that reality, we are going to be reforming something that we don't know what we are reforming.
Right, so the reverence of education, that education is Saraswati, and we need to worship her and not abuse her, but at the same time reform what we have. Narayan, do you want to have a quick comment on that?
Yeah, the only thing I'd like to say is that, when you, there are two things that I have a little problem with. Number one, it is not necessary to put the IITs above. I'm talking about education in general. I'm not even talking about higher education. In some earlier film, we found, elementary school teachers being derided. There are 55,000 elementary schools in Maharashtra, 11,000 have electricity. Innovation happens by each and every elementary school teacher, innovates in that school. And I think that is what, if you deride something like that, is something very dangerous. I'm not talking about only higher education.
So derision is dangerous. Chetan Bhagat,
it's very convenient. It's very convenient.
Right, Chetan Bhagat, I'm going to give you the last word here. When you wrote your book, did you actually feel that you needed to make this kind of a very strong point on education, or were you hoping to generate this kind of debate, which certainly the film has done?
Well, I mean, I didn't expect it to this extent, but I'll since you've given me the closing thing, I think I'll try to put a hybrid of these two arguments. I think it's definitely some things need to be changed. It's very clear, we have, we don't encourage innovation. Look at our software sector. We have companies like Infosys and all these other companies which send people abroad as contract labor or whatever. But we don't have even one Facebook or Twitter or a truly innovative internet company that we have created for the global platform. Every internet company in India is a derivative. So I'm not saying, and it comes from innovation and an ability to commercialize the innovation, and that's not there in the country.
It's not there, right? We're going to have to leave it there.
And
unfortunately, we're going to have to leave it there. We're completely out of time. But we do have a lot to be proud of. Nonetheless, we need to improve. But I think what also the panelists are coming across is we need to change with respect, not change with disrespect. Thanks very much indeed, Mahesh Manjrekar, Parshuram, Narayan, Chetan Bhagat, Shashank Veera. Thanks very much indeed. What's your final verdict to us? Is Three Idiots an accurate depiction of our Indian higher education system? 73% yes, rest saying no. Thanks for watching.